What if the ancients already saw our future? The rise of technology, the chaos of climate change, even artificial intelligence. It sounds impossible, but buried inside the world's oldest myths are prophecies that read like today's headlines. Perhaps the ancients didn't predict the future. Maybe they remembered it. In Greek myth, Prometheus was humanity's first scientist. He shaped people from clay and gave them fire, stolen from Olympus, the divine symbol of knowledge and invention. Zeus called it blasphemy. Fire meant power, and power belonged only to the gods. But Prometheus lit a spark anyway. And for that crime, he was chained to a cliff, his liver torn out by an eagle every day, for eternity. It's the oldest story of punishment for progress. Fast forward to now, our fire isn't Flamet's code. Electricity, circuits, data, the energy that powers everything from skyscrapers to the glowing rectangle in your hand. And just like Prometheus, we're still testing the boundary between creation and control. Each new invention, AI, biotech, nuclear fusion, burns brighter, but every spark risks another storm. The myth's warning was never about the flame. It was about hubris. Prometheus believed knowledge alone would save us. The gods believed restraint would. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in between. Now, let's travel east to India. In Hindu cosmology, time moves in for immense cycles called Yuga. The final one, Kali Yuga, is the age of declinan, era where truth withers, greed rules, and machines replace wisdom. The Vishnu Purana, written thousands of years ago, says, kings will become thieves. Knowledge will be sold for money. Falsehood will triumph over truth. The people will forget the sacred and worship only pleasure. Sound familiar? It's eerily close to the modern feed we scroll every day. A world where algorithms know our desires better than we do, where outrage spreads faster than compassion. The ancients imagined it as spiritual decay. We just call it the information age. But Kali Yuga isn't pure despair. Hindu philosophy sees it as a necessary darkness before renewal. After the worst corruption, a new Satya Yugan, age of truth, will rise again. That cyclical optimism is something modern science often overlooks. The belief that even collapse is part of a grand cosmic balance. It's not an end, but a transition. Remember 2012, the year the world was supposed to end. That global panic came from a misunderstanding of the Mayan long count calendar. In reality, the Mayans never predicted destruction. They predicted a reset. Their myths tell us the gods built and destroyed humanity 4 times before our current era. One age drowned in floods, another burned in fire, another ended when jaguars devoured the sun. Our era is the 5th sun and age of rebirth that began after darkness. To the Mayans, endings were simply transitions. When their calendar restarted in 2012, it didn't symbolize an apocalypse, but an awakening, a chance to remember our balance with the earth. They saw time not as a straight line, but as a spiral. Every civilization that forgets its center eventually loops back to start again. If you look at today's climate, deteriorating seas, collapsing forests, it feels like that spiral is closing in once more. The myth is repeating itself, just dressed in science instead of stone carvings. Even the ancients imagined the machine age. In Hesiod's asterisk works and Day's asterisk, after Prometheus's fire comes Pandora, the first artificial creation, a woman built by the god Hephaestus from clay and given life by the gods. She opens a jar, not a box, that came later and releases all the world's sorrows, leaving only hope trapped inside. Pandora is the myth of innovation, of curiosity birthing chaos. Today, every new technology opens another jar. Artificial intelligence learns faster than its creators expect. Digital viruses leap from labs to global networks. Each discovery carries the same tension. Will it bring liberation or loss? Even in Hindu myth, the sage Vishwakarma builds incredible machines for the gods' flying chariots, weapons of light that humans later misuse. The story teaches us that creation itself was never neutral. The danger wasn't the tool, it was forgetting the soul that wields it. Across cultures, across centuries, the message stays the same. Prometheus warned that enlightenment without empathy becomes torment. The Kali Yuga warned that truth fades when we trade wisdom for convenience. The Mayans warned that when humanity forgets its harmony with nature, the cycle restarts. Different languages, same fundamental lesson. So, maybe the ancients didn't predict us. Maybe we're just living their lessons over and over again, until we finally learn them. If these stories made you see the future in the past, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs a new perspective, and subscribe for more myths that explain our modern world. Because the next prophecy is already being written and it might be us. Thanks for watching.